Hey guys, good evening and welcome to this live session as a part of the SSC CGL Tier 1 refresh brought to you by TalentSprint. I welcome you all to the first session of the SSC CGL Tier 1 exam 2016 refresher, right? Now, like you all know, in these live sessions, we'll be solving questions from the previous papers of SSC CGL Tier 1 exam. Today is the first session, and the subject that we are going to look at is Quantitative Aptitude. Now, you very well understand that in the SSC CGL Tier 1 exam, there are 4 sections: Quantitative Aptitude, General Intelligence and Reasoning, English Comprehension, and General Awareness. So, we'll be having live sessions for each of these subjects covering the previous papers. All right, the detailed calendar is available in the dashboard of your TalentSprint account. I suggest all of you to go through it and be prepared with the live sessions that we have planned for, right, as per the calendar. I would like to mention that the calendar has been changed, right? The calendar that was published about a month ago has been changed, right? And there's a new calendar now, as per which the sessions will be held on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I repeat, the sessions now will be held. Sessions for SSC CGL Tier 1 exam refresher will be held on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, right? So just ensure that you follow the calendar properly and come prepared for these sessions. I'm sure most of you would have participated in our special live sessions as well, right? We have conducted about I think 7 special live sessions covering quantitative aptitude and general intelligence and reasoning. What did we do there? Additional examples, right? So all those additional examples have already been added to your learning section. You can refer to those videos as well when you're preparing for this exam, and these live sessions would anyway go on till the month of May, right, till the first week of May. Now, tentatively, the SSC CGL Tier 1 exam is scheduled for 8th and 22nd of May, but since the application date had got extended, there may be an extension in the exam date as well. I would not like to actually comment anything on this, but keeping that out of your mind, you have to stick to 8th May and 22nd May and be prepared, right? Be fully prepared. So I'm just mentioning this in the beginning itself so that I don't get queries in the live session as well on the same about what will happen to the exam. Like, we've got a lot of queries through email, so I wanted to ensure that I clear it in the beginning itself, right? You have to keep 8th May as the deadline and prepare for this exam. I hope your preparation is going healthy, right? I mean, it's high time now. With less than a month left for the exam, and your preparation should be in the highest gear possible, right? I hope all of you have already gone through all the videos relevant to quantitative aptitude and general intelligence and reasoning and English comprehension, and you are now in the stage of practice, right? See, any preparation for any exam has got 2 stages in mind. One is a learning stage, and then there is a practice stage. So learning stage is where you learn the concepts, the shortcut, the fundamentals, and the smart methods of answering different types of questions from different topics. That's learning. And practice is, once you have done your learning, you solve more and more examples so that you can solve it as quickly as possible in the actual exam, right? So I would say it's high time now, and you should have already shifted to the practice mode by now, right? From the learn mode to the practice mode by now. All right. And these live sessions that we are doing as a part of the refresher course will add value to your preparation by covering the previous papers and also a little bit of doubts clarification relevant to the question that we are discussing here. All right. Now, before we start solving the questions, you all know that there is a PDF which has been uploaded, right? Below your video screen, you can see a button called ebook. So you can click on that button to download the ebook, to download the PDF which has got those 25 questions that we are going to solve in the session today. All these 25 questions have been chosen from the previous year's paper, right? Previous year's Tier 1 exam papers, right? And unlike what we usually do, this time we have chosen the questions, right? Rightly chosen the question, right? Usually we used to have, we used to choose one particular paper and solve 25 questions in one session and the remaining 25 questions in the other session. And many a times it used to happen that even very silly questions were discussed in the session. Silly as in which could have been easily answered, which most of the students anyway answered. So what we have started doing from now is to choose the questions, to choose the typical ones and discuss it here in the session, right? Maybe you find some of these 25 questions also to be very easy. It all depends on your level of understanding of the subject. All right, but the point that I'm trying to make is the questions have actually been chosen from the previous year's Tier 1 exam papers. Now, the second important point that I have to mention is we want to the way these live refresher sessions are being conducted, right? I'm sure not many of you would have noticed, but this morning we had published a test, a subject level test called SSC CGL exam refresher QA1. And that test has these 25 questions that we are going to solve now, right? It was a subject level test that was published, and the total time given was half an hour. And a similar process will be followed for all the remaining sessions as well. Now, what is the idea here? What is the plan? See, it goes something like this. Your next session is on Wednesday, right? Wednesday at 4 p.m. What is that session? Quantitative Aptitude Part 2, where we will solve 25 more questions, which have been chosen from the previous papers. Now, on Wednesday morning by 11 a.m., we will publish a subject test. This subject test will be on the session that we are going to have on that day, right? Which is Quantitative Aptitude. It will have 25 questions, and the allotted time is half an hour, which is actually a little more than what is given in the exam, right? Now, we are expecting you all to take that test, solve those questions by yourself, and then come to the session, right? You usually get a handout which is made available before the session starts, and you start solving it. But we actually want you to come prepared for the session by solving those questions in advance, and be ready with your doubts. Doubts as in, maybe some questions when you solve in advance, you may get doubts related to those type of questions, so that you can post it more effectively in the session, right? Otherwise, when you're actually solving it along with us, maybe you don't get a very good, a very detailed understanding of the question. I hope you're able to follow the point, right? So the idea is we will be publishing a subject level test in the morning of, in the morning of those days where the session is going to be conducted. You should take that test and then join for this particular live session. All right. So if all of you have followed this, you can acknowledge the same through the chat, and then we can start working on the questions here. I mean, this is all feedback that we have got from our students, right? One of the students had given us feedback that why don't you publish the handout in advance so that we solve the questions and be prepared, right? Instead of solving it in the session, we already solve it and come for the session. So, which was a very good point we thought, and we have implemented it, right? Today's PDF or today's handout was published in the afternoon itself, right? Same will happen from the next session also, but the questions will be available not in form of a handout. It will be available in the form of a test, right? So you have to all, so that we can also analyze how you have performed it, right? Which are the questions they, and then discuss and emphasize more on those type of questions. All right. So I can see a few confirmations. I think from Akash Deep, Anubhav Sharma, and Malikarjun, Jitendra Mehta, Saudi. I guess a few of you were already a part of our special live sessions which were conducted over last 2-3 weeks, right? And who else? Ishak, Murli, Nitish Gupta. Good. Nitin Saxena. So I hope all of you followed. So what I'm expecting you all to do is for the Wednesday session, take the test and then come for the live class, right? Test would be published in the morning by 11 a.m. You can take it anytime you want before the session starts. It is just a half-an-hour test, and then work on these questions. If you really find all the 25 questions to be easy, you must be happy that you're preparing well, that you're able to answer all the questions correctly, right? And you can also skip the session, right? Why do you have to join a live session and waste your time when you already know all the questions and all the smart solutions? You can probably practice more questions yourself instead of participating in the live session, right? So trying to make it a little more independent that way. All right. So I hope all of you would, follow this and start taking those tests so that we can analyze your performance and help you rectify where you're going wrong, right? Understand what type of questions are kind of, trapping you and where you're ending up wasting a lot of time. All right. So let's get started now. I think we have a lot of students who have already joined the session. So what are we going to do? I'll share the screen which has got all these 25 questions, and we'll quickly solve them one after the other. I'll give you about 30 seconds to 45 seconds per question, right? And then look at the smart solution for answering these questions. All right. So here we go. Let me share my screen. The same questions are also available in the form of PDF, so you can also download the PDF and solve the questions using that, or look at the screen and answer it. Okay. So here we go with the first question on your screens now. Please acknowledge if you're able to see the live stream without any difficulty. All those who are finding the picture to be a little distorted or a little hazy, I would suggest them to enhance the picture quality by clicking the settings icon. Now, where is the settings icon? On the bottom right of your video screen, right? Once you maximize the screen, on the bottom right, you will find a settings icon. You can click that settings icon and enhance the picture quality by increasing the resolution, right? If it is 360, you can make it 480, you can take it to 720p or 1080p, HD, etc., right? But remember, your bandwidth has to support that high resolution. If your internet connection is not great, then the video will start buffering, right? So adjust it accordingly and make sure that you are watching the stream in the best possible quality there. Okay. Yes, I think a few of you have already acknowledged that. Amit Garg, Sai, and Sumit Bhagat. And we have Mrinal, Mail to Ganesh, and others there. So thank you guys for being so responsive. I think Saket has posted the responses for the first 7 questions. So first question here on your screen, and your time starts now. Although you already have the PDF there, you would have answered most of these questions already, solved most of these questions already, but I would request you to post answers for one question at a time, right? No point in posting all 10, 15 questions there, because I'll not be able to focus on that. So just post the response to this particular question. Or if you have any query with respect to the question that we are going to solve, you can post it there. Option 1, I think Srinavya, Sairam, and Amit Verma, all of you have got option 1, 180 by pi centimeter cube. Raj says hello, hi, welcome to. I'm seeing you for the first time, right? I mean, your username here for the first time. So looks like this is your first session, and I hope you enjoy it and learn a lot on this. So option 1 seems to be the right answer, right? Nitin Saxena, Davish, Saubhagya Laki. Good. So shall we look at the solution now? We have Raj Shekhar and Mrinal Gulab who have answered option 1. Bharat also has got option 1. So good to see that, right or wrong we'll get to know, but at least all of you are getting the same answer there, right? So let's look at the solution now. So the question here says a rectangular tin sheet is 12 centimeter long and 5 broad. So basically the dimensions of a rectangular tin sheet has been given here, right? 12 centimeter is the length and 5 centimeter is the breadth. It is rolled along its length to form a cylinder, right? It is rolled along its length to form a cylinder by making the opposite edges just to touch each other. Then the volume of the cylinder is. So we have to find out the volume of the cylinder. So basically there is a rectangular sheet here, right? What is the rectangular sheet's dimensions here? 12 centimeter is the length. The length is 12 and the breadth is 5, right? The breadth is 5. Now this rectangular sheet is rolled along its length, right? The rectangular sheet is rolled along its length. I hope you understand the point here. How is it rolled? To form a cylinder just by making the opposite edges touch each other. So basically it will be rolled along the length. See, length is just 12 centimeters. So it is rolled along the length there just by making the opposite edges touch. So which edges would touch? These edges. See, this edge and this edge will be made to touch each other. Getting it? So basically you will form a cylinder. You getting it? These two would be connected. So what would we get? After rolling it, we'll get a cylinder. Remember, since the sheet has been rolled along its length, the height of the cylinder will be, what will be the height of 5, right? Now, what has happened to this 12? This 12 centimeter length will now become the circumference of this circle. You understand? It will become the circumference of the rim of the cylinder. You're getting it? So we can say this 2 pi r here will be equal to 12. You're getting it? The base will be circular in shape. For a cylinder, the base is circular in shape. And for that circle, the circumference will be 12 centimeters. Whereas the height of this cylinder will be 5. So this is what has been indirectly given to us. He's asking us to find out the volume, right? What is volume of a cylinder? Pi r square h. Now height very clearly is 5 centimeter. We need to work on the radius first, right? Find out the radius. How do we get the radius? See, we know that 2 pi r is equal to 12. So from this, the radius r can be taken as 12 by 2 pi or 6 by pi. 12 by 2 pi can be simplified as 6 by pi. So radius is equal to 6 by pi centimeters. Now substitute that radius here and find out the volume. So what will be the volume? Volume will be pi into r square h. R square is 6 by pi whole square and h here is 5. So simplify pi into 6 square is 36 into 5 divided by pi square. See, we are not taking pi as 22 by 7 because if you observe the options, all have got the measurements or the volume in terms of pi, right? So let us not waste our time in simplifying it, right? Pi anyway gets cancelled here, 1 pi in the denominator. What will be left? 36 into 5. 36 into 5 is 180 divided by pi. So the answer here will be 180 by pi centimeter cube, option 1. All right? 180 by pi centimeter cube, option 1. So that was a question from mensuration. Moving on to the next one now. Now this one here is on ages. You'll have 40 seconds. Your time has already started. The question says the sum of the ages of two brothers having a difference of 8 years between them will double after 10 years. What is the ratio of the age of younger brother to that of the elder brother? The sum of the ages of two brothers having a difference of 8 years between them will double after 10 years. What is the ratio of the age of the younger brother to that of the elder brother? Option 1 is 7:11. Option 2 is 3:7. Option 8:9. 4 is 10:30. So 40 seconds. Your time had started about 10 seconds ago. All right, so we've got the first couple of responses here. Saket and Rupa. Both of them have got 3:7. Yes, Visak has also got 3:7, option 2. And Baby Kumari, Sangeeta Kumari, Vinod, MBA, Raj Shekhar, Charan Kumar, Amit Verma. Everybody here has got option 2. Option 2, which is 3:7. Aditya also has got option 2, and he has given us the complete solution there. Complete solution which results in option 2 as the answer. So let's look at the solution now. The question says the sum of the ages of two brothers having a difference of 8 years between them will double after 10 years. So basically, this is the statement. The statement says sum of the ages of two brothers will double after 10 years. And they have a difference of 8 years, between them. He's asking us to find out the ratio of the age of younger brother to that of the elder brother. Right? What do we have to work on? The ratio of the age of younger brother to that of the elder brother. I think the first point that should strike to you is he's asking us for a ratio. Ratio of what? Age of the younger brother to that of the elder brother. So basically, the response here should be younger is to elder. Younger is to elder. Now, a smart student, even before putting pen on paper, would first look at all the answer options and see if anything can be eliminated. Why? How can we eliminate the answer options here? See, the first part of the ratio should be smaller than the second part, because clearly he has asked us to find out younger brother to elder brother. So option 1, 7:11. Okay, no problem, right? 7 is lesser than 11. 3:7, no problem. This also can be the answer. 3 is less than 7. 8 is less than 9. 10 is less than 30. So, I mean, we can say we are unlucky that all the options here satisfy the first condition, but just imagine if 3 of the options can be eliminated just by looking at the ratios, then without solving the question in the actual way, you can mark the answer. So these points should strike to you the moment you read the question. And verification of such points wouldn't take more than 3-4 seconds, right? You just have to throw a glance at all the answers, see which of these options can be eliminated. Here doesn't really help because all the options are given in the right pattern. Let's say if option 1 is given as 11:7, I can straight away eliminate it. Option 4 is given as 13:10. We can straight away eliminate that, right? We can kill it. So that's the first point. Doesn't really help, but keep that point in mind. Now, what is given to us? The difference is 8 years between them. The difference of the ages of these two brothers is 8 years. So let's say the age of first brother is B1 and second brother is B2. So B1 minus B2 is equal to 8 years. Or you can say elder brother is minus younger brother. See, elder will be more than younger, right? Age. The age of elder brother will be more than that of the younger brother. So we can say age of the elder brother BE minus age of the younger brother will be equal to 8. Will be equal to 8. And what else is given? The sum of the ages of two brothers having a difference of 8 years between them will double after 10 years. See, the present ages, we have considered the present ages to be BE and BY. What we is BE plus 10 and BY plus 10. He says the sum of their ages will double after 10 years. The sum of their ages will double after. You getting it? See, the point is this. Just try to write that one equation is already available with this. The difference of their ages is 8 is already available. The second equation has to be framed properly. That the sum of their ages will double after 10 years. Sum of their ages will double after 10 years. See, let us assume the age after 10 years is BE dash and BY dash. You need not take the exam for I am giving the detailed solution. You can cut down all these steps. Now, as per the question, the sum of their ages will double. So after 10 years, what will be the sum of their ages? BE dash plus BY dash. Will double after 10 years means what? It will be twice the present sum. 2 times BE plus BY. You getting it? So after 10 years, the sum is this BE dash plus BY dash, which will double. It will double after 10 years. So after 10 years, the sum will be twice the present sum. Twice the present sum. Now, you all know that BE dash is nothing but BE plus 10. Yes or no? See, age after 10 years, BE dash will be BE plus 10. Plus 10 will give you B dash. Similarly, BY plus 10 will give you BY dash. So this can be taken as BY plus 10 equals to 2 times of BE plus BY. 2 times of BE plus BY. Right? See, you need to understand, many of the students, or I would say some of the students would commit a mistake here by taking BE dash plus BY dash as BE plus BY plus 10. See, after 10 years, doesn't mean that you'll add only one 10. There are 2 persons here, right? So you have to add 10 2 times. Right? So plus 10 and plus 10. Be careful about that. So when you simplify this equation, what happens? 2BE minus BE will give you BE, and 2BY minus BY will give you BY, will be equal to 10 plus 10, 20. So that's the second equation. Equation number 1 is this, and equation number 2 is this. So BE plus BY will be 20, and BE minus BY will be equal to 8. That's it. So all these 2 equations, and you will be able to find out the answers. So from 1 and 2, what do we get? Add the 2 equations. By adding the 2 equations, what do we get? BE plus BE. You are able to follow. BE plus BE will be equal to 8 plus 20, 28. So BE will come out to be 28 by 2, which is 14. If BE is 14, BY has to be 6, because 14 plus 6 is 20, and 14 minus 6 is 8. So basically, so ages are 14 and 6. What should be the ratio? See, be very clear. The ratio is for younger is to elder, right? We need to solve younger is to elder. So younger is to elder will be what? 6 is to 14. 6 is to 14 is equal to 3 is to 10. Sorry, 3 is to 7. 3 is to 7. Option 2 would be the correct answer. Again, like I said, you can cut down a number of steps here, right? You need not write all younger, elder, BE, BY, BE dash, BY dash, and all that stuff. And if you are smart, if you can visualize a few steps, you can cut down these steps as well. You know that first equation will be BE minus BY equals to 8, and second equation will be BE plus. Solve these 2 equations to get the required answer, right? Now, before we move on, I would like to stress on an important point here, right? I would like to draw your attention on an important point. See, without writing these 3 steps, how do you know that BE plus BY is going to be 20? Let me say that. Look at the statement here. He says sum of the ages of the two brothers will double after 10 years. It will double after 10 years. See, basically, when you say after 10 years for two persons, what is the total increment? Total increment in their ages will be 10 plus 10, 20. You're getting it? First person's age will increase by 10 years. Second person's age will also increase by 10 years. So what will be the total increment? 10 plus 10, 20. Now he's saying this total increment of 20 will actually double the value. Are you able to follow? You are increasing something by 20, and because of that, the original value is getting doubled. So we can clearly say that the original value was also 20. Only when you add the same amount, it will get doubled, right? When will x get doubled? When you add x. X plus x is 2x. You're getting it? One will when will p get doubled? When you add one more p to it. P plus p, 2p. So p becomes 2p, gets doubled. Here we have added 20, and because of which the value has doubled. So clearly the original value was also 20. So we can say sum of their ages should be 20. And the moment you know that sum of their ages is 20, you need not solve the equations again. See, the first point is you can mentally understand that b plus by will be equal to 20. That's the first point, right? Now, what do you know from this equation that we have got? Since b plus by is equal to 20, we can say that, verify from the answer options. Let's say B first option, right? by is 7, be is 11. What is the sum? 7 plus 11, 18. We know that the sum of the two parts in the ratio should be a multiple of 20 or a factor of 20. It should either be a multiple of 20 or a factor of 20. Why? Because by adding these two, we are getting 20 there. So 7 plus 11 will give you what? 18. Is 18 a multiple or a submultiple of 20? No. So first option is wrong. Look at second option. 3 plus 7, 10. Is 10 a multiple or submultiple of 20? Yes. 10 is a submultiple. Submultiple is nothing but 10 is a factor of 20. Option 2 may be possible. We cannot straight away mark option 2 as the answer. It may be possible. Verify the remaining options. 8 plus 9 is 17. Is that a multiple or submultiple of 20? No. So third option gets eliminated. 10 plus 13 is 23. Is that a multiple or submultiple of 20? No. Even that gets eliminated. So we are left with only one option, 3:7. And hence, option 2, 3:7 can be taken as a correct answer. You getting the point? Without writing any of these steps on paper, you can mentally do the calculation, a smart calculation, and mark option 2 as the answer. Similarly, even for first equation, where he said the difference between the ages is 8 years, you can verify from the options. How do you do that? See, BE minus BY is equal to 8. So we can say that the difference of these two has to be a multiple or submultiple of 8. The difference of the two parts in the answer options has to be a multiple or a submultiple of 8. Now, all options may not get eliminated, but at least some of them may. You never know, right? So look at first option, 7 and 11. What's the difference? 4. Is 4 a multiple or submultiple of 8? Yes, 4 is a factor of 8. So option 1 is possible. So going by condition 1, going by equation 1, option 1 also seems to be possible. Option 2, 3 and 7, the difference is 4. Yes, may be possible. Option 3, 8:9, the difference is 1. Is 1 a multiple or submultiple of 8? Yes, 1 is a factor of 8. So option 3 also is possible. Option 4, 10 and 13. What is the difference? 3 parts. You're getting it? We are saying younger brother's age is 10 parts, elder brother's age is 13 parts. So what is the difference in their ages? 3 parts. Is 3 parts a multiple of, or is 3, numerically 3, a multiple of 8 or a submultiple of 8? No. So option 4 gets eliminated. So if you go by equation 1 or the condition 1, only one option gets eliminated, option 4. But if you try to check equation 2, the condition 2 there, 3 of the options get eliminated. And hence, the left out one has to be the correct answer. So this is how smartly you can answer such questions without following the traditional solution. All right? So I hope all of you have got this point clearly. Moving on to the next one. Here we go. The third question of the session today on average. Average age of A, B, and C is 84 years. When D joins them, the average age becomes 80 years. A new person, E, whose age is 4 years more than D, replaces A, and the average age of B, C, D, and E becomes 78 years. What is the age of A? The answer options are 60, 70, 80, or 50. I guess 30 to 40 seconds should be more than sufficient to answer this one, right? It's all about writing those equations, right? Equations of average properly and solving them to get the required answer. So 30 seconds and your time starts now. Okay, Raghavendra, Saket, Sachin say the answer has to be 80, option 3. What about others? Yeah, Nitish Gupta has also got 80. And Visak, Rajkumar, Rajshekhar, Akash, Deep, even they say the answer is 80, option 3. Alright, so let's look at the solution now. The question says average age of A, B, and C is 84 years. Now write the equation straight away, right? Average age of A, B, C is 84 means what? The sum of their ages, A plus B plus C, should be 84 into 3. How much is 84 into 3? 252, right? 83 is 240 and 4 3s is 12. 240 and 12 is 252. Next, when D, right? D joins whom? The first 3 persons, A, B, and C. The average age becomes 80 years. So basically for 4 persons, A, B, C, and D, the average age is 80 years. So A plus B plus C plus D. What will be the sum? 80 into 4. Yes or no? The sum of the values is equal to average into number of values. So average is 80 into 4, 320. Now from these two, can you find out the age of D? Yes. See, substitute A plus B plus C as 252 in the second equation. 52 plus D is equal to 320. From this, D comes out to be what? It comes out to be 68. So we can say that D's age is 68 years. But is that what is required? No. The question is asking us to find out the age of A. What is the age of A is to be calculated. There's one more way to find out the age of D. Instead of solving these two equations, if you go by our smart concept of equal distribution. If you have gone through the video of averages, we have discussed that average is nothing but an equal distribution. If you go by that, you will get to know that D is anyway 68. See what happens. The original average is 84. After D joins the group, the average becomes 80 years. So basically, after this 4th person has joined, average is reduced by how much? 4 years. 84 has become 80. It has reduced by 4 years. It has reduced by 4 years for how many persons? For 4 persons. Getting it? Average age of A, B, C is 84 implies A is 84 years old, B is 84 years old, C is 84 years old. That's an assumption, right? Equal distribution concept. So all 3 of these persons are 84 years old each. After D joins the group, it becomes 80 years. Average becomes 80, which implies A, B, C, D, each of these persons is 80 years old. So what is the total loss of the group? 6. Each person has lost 4 years, right? So total loss 16 years. Why is this loss of 16 years occurring now? Because of the person D, which means D has joined with a lesser value than 84. How much less than 84? 16 less than 84. And 84 minus 16 is 60. So even that way you can directly establish that D is 68 years old. Next point, a new person E whose age is 4 years more than D. So a new person E joins whose age is 4 years more than D, D plus 4. So how much will that be? 68 plus 4? 72 years. Replaces A. He replaces A in place of A. So A will be gone and E will join the group. E will join the group. And now the average of B, C, D and E becomes 78 years. So B plus C plus D plus E will become what? 78 years. So their sum should be 78 into 4. Yes or no? 78 into 4. D plus C plus D plus E, 78 into 4. How much is 78 into 4? It will be 312. Yes or no? 312. He's asking us to find out the age of A. Now simple. I mean, it's all 4 equations and some unknown values there, right? You can easily simplify this. See, we know that E is equal to 72 years old. Substitute it here. So B plus C plus D will be how much? B plus C plus D will be equal to 312 minus 72. 312 minus E, which is 72. So 312 minus 72 comes out to be 240. So B plus C plus D is 240. Now substitute B plus C plus D as 240 in this equation. We know that this is 240. So from this, we can say A plus 240 is equal to 320. So what should be the age of A? Age of A should be 320 minus 240, which comes out to be 80 years. 80 years, option 3 would be the answer. So it's all about writing the proper equations and solving them to get the required answer. Next question. This one is from time and distance. Interesting one. If I walk at 5 kilometers per hour, I miss a train by 7 minutes. However, if I walk at 6 kilometers per hour, I reach the station 5 minutes before the departure of the train. The distance between my house and the station is 6.5 kilometers or 7 kilometers or 6 kilometers or 5 kilometers. If you have gone through the video of time and distance, you will be able to solve this question in less than 10 seconds. This is a very popular question type from time and distance. And we have seen in many other previous competitive exam papers that similar questions have been asked. So you must know how to answer this in a smart way. I would say 10 seconds is more than enough to crack this one. Here we go. Raghavinder and Nilesh have already responded as 6 kilometers. Option 3. And I guess same is the answer that Srinavya and Taruna have got. 3. Option 3. 6 kilometers. Yes. So what do we do here? See, if I walk at 5 kilometers per hour, if the speed is 5 kilometers per hour, I miss a train by 7 minutes, which means you will reach the station late. Late by how many minutes? 7 minutes. However, if I walk at 6 kilometers per hour, the speed has increased now from 5 kilometers per hour to 6 kilometers per hour. I reach the station 5 minutes before the departure of the train. So you have reached 5 minutes early. The distance between my house and the station is. See, very easy. I mean, I need not repeat the whole. It has anyway been discussed in the time and distance video. You can refer that. But just to give you a hint, let us assume that the right time of departure is 10 a.m. The train starts at 10 a.m. In the initial case, when you walk at 5 kilometers per hour, you miss the train by 7 minutes, which means you will reach the station at what time? 10 o'clock and 7 minutes. This was when your speed was 7 kilometers per hour. But in the second case, when you walk at 6 kilometers per hour, you reach the station 5 minutes before the departure. 5 minutes before the departure means what? At 9:55. Yes or no? We have assumed that the departure of the train is at 10 a.m. Train departs at 10 a.m. and you have reached 5 minutes early. So at what time? 9:55 a.m. This was when your speed was 6 kilometers per hour. Now consider the difference between these two cases. What is the time difference? Time difference, see, 7 minutes and 5 minutes. You can actually say that it is 2 minutes, but be careful. This is on the opposite side of the clock hour, right? 10 o'clock plus 7 minutes and 10 o'clock minus 5 minutes. So when you take the difference, it will be 12 minutes. 7 minus of minus 5. You're getting it? Or just calculate, just measure 9:55 to 10:07. How many minutes? 12 minutes. So the difference is 12 minutes. You're getting it? So T1 minus T2 equals to 12 is what you can say. T1 minus T2 equals to 12. Or basically, T1 minus T2 is equal to 12 minutes. Right? 12 minutes. Now what is time? Distance by speed. So distance, let us assume, is d. Which distance? The distance between the house and the station. We are assuming it to be d. D by speed. Distance by speed. What was the speed initially? 5. D by 5 minus T2. Distance remains same. Speed is 6. Equals to 12 minutes. The only challenge here is the 5 and 6 value kilometers per hour and 12 is in minutes. So how do you convert minutes to hours? Divide by 60. So this is 5 hours, 6 hours and 12 by 60 hours now. You getting it? Converting minutes to hours. So we have to divide by 60. Solve this equation and find out get the value of d. So if we take d common, what do we get? 1 by 5 minus 1 by 6. That will be 6 minus 5 by 30 equals to, this goes how many times? 5 times. So we can say 1 by 5. So what will be the answer? The answer here would be d equals to 30 by 5. See, 6 minus 5 is 1. 30 goes on the other side. 30 by 5, which is 6 kilometers. How do we know that the distance is in kilometers? Because the time and the speed that were considered were all in kilometers per hour and hours respectively, or hours and kilometers per hour respectively. So obviously the distance that we get will be in kilometers. So option 3, 6 kilometers is the answer. Next question. Now this is from triangles, geometry. In two similar triangles, ABC and MNP, if AB is 2.25, MP is 4.5, and PN is 7.5 centimeters, and the measurement of angle MNP and angle ABC is equal to angle MPN, then the length of side BC is. Answer options are 3.75, 4.75, 3.5, and 4.5. I think 10 seconds, not more than that. Option 1, Jitendra Mehta, Sangeeta Kumari, Srinavya, Deepak Yadav, and Visak Mehta. All of you have got option 1, 3.75. So how do we solve this? Read the question. In two, right? The question clearly states that the two triangles are similar. Which two triangles? A, B, C, and M and P. So let us construct these two triangles now. This is triangle A, B, C, let's say, and A, B, and C. And there is one more triangle, M and P. M and P. Right? You have to take the vertices on the, accordingly. If you take A, B, C, it should be taken as M and P. You cannot take A, B, C here and then M and P in this. So when you have taken A, B, C in anti-clockwise direction, M and P should also be taken in anti-clockwise direction, right? In order to avoid any sort of confusion. Then AB is 2.25. This side is 2.25. And MP is 4.5. MP is 4.5. Right? AB is 2.25. MP is 4.5. And PN to 7.5. PN is 7.5. Right? PN is 7.5. Now he says angle MNP. What is angle MNP? This angle. And angle ABC. Angle ABC. These two angles are equal to angle MPN. See, the point is angle MNP is equal to angle MPN. And angle ABC is also equal to angle MPN. So all these three angles are equal. You getting it? All these three angles are equal. Now the first point is in triangle MNP, since angle N and angle P are equal, it will become an isosceles triangle. So if this side is 4.5, this also will be 4.5. You're getting it? It is an isosceles triangle. MNP is an isosceles triangle. So if this side is 4.5, the other side will also be 4.5. And because MNP is an isosceles triangle, obviously ABC will also be an isosceles triangle, right? Triangle ABC will also be an isosceles triangle. What are we supposed to find out? The length of the side BC. What is this length? See, understand. Angle B will be equal to angle C. Angle B will be equal to angle C. And we know that these are similar triangles. ABC and MNP are similar triangles. So you can just take the ratio of corresponding sides. You know that in similar triangles, the ratio of corresponding sides is equal. So we can say AB by MN will be equal to BC divided by NP. Just substitute the values now. See, AB by MN, BC by NP, corresponding sides. So AB is 2.25, MN is 4.5, BC has to be measured, and NP is 7.5. So this goes 2 times here. BC can be taken as 7.5 by 2, which is 3.75. And I'm sure all of you understand that this calculation can be done even without writing the equations. See, basically 2.25 is doubled. It becomes 4.5. So obviously this question mark should be doubled to get 7.5. Or the converse, 4.5 is halved to get 2.25. So 7.5 should also be halved. Corresponding sides, right? So ratios should be equal. Half of 7.5 is 3.75. So avoid writing unnecessary steps on paper and try to get it in a smart way. Next one. This is from heights and distance. The question says the length of the shadow of a tower is 9 meters when the sun's altitude is 30 degrees. Right? What is the height of the tower? So the length of the shadow of a tower, right? This is not the length of the tower. 9 meters is what? The length of shadow of a tower when the sun's altitude is 30 degrees. Then what is the height of the tower? Now this is a simple question from heights and distance where we have to construct a right angle triangle. Let us assume this is the tower, the ground level here and the tower T. So this is G and let's say the tower T. Now the altitude, sun's altitude is 30 degrees means what? Angle of elevation of the sun is 30 degrees. So basically from the point of observation, let's say P is the point of observation, this angle is 30 degrees to the top of tower. Actually it is to the sun, but if you have gone through the video, we have discussed this, that the angle of elevation of the sun is nothing but angle of elevation of the top of the object, because the sun rays will fall on top of the object and it will hit the ground here, right? That will cause the shadow. So PGT basically is a right angle triangle. This angle would be 90 degrees. What is given here? The length of the shadow of the tower. See, this will be the shadow. PG will be the shadow. Sun rays will fall on the tower GT and that will create shadow, which is PG. So this length of the shadow PG is given as 9 meters. We are supposed to find out the height of the tower. What is the height of the tower? GT. H is equal to what? Let us consider it as H. Now in the right angle triangle, tan 30, we can say tan 30 degrees is equal to H, opposite side H by adjacent side PG. or you can say GT by PG. I mean, no need to write all these steps. Cut it down and get it quickly. GT by PG. Substitute now. Tan 30 is 1 by root 3. GT has to be calculated, H, and PG is 9. So we can say the height of the tower is 9 by root 3, which comes out to be 3 root 3. Right? 9 can be taken as 3 into 3. So 3 by root 3 is 3. Sorry, 3 by root 3 is root 3, and 3 into root 3 will become 3 root 3. Option 4. Next question, one more on geometry. In the given figure, O is the center, then X is equal to what? So there's a figure already given there, so we don't have to spend time in drawing the right figure, right? He says O is the center, we may have to measure the angle X, right? X is equal to what? Now how do we do this? See, observe, O is the center, so clearly OP and OQ will be equal. OP and OQ, these two lengths will be equal. Why? OP is equal to OQ will be equal to the radius of the circle. From the center to any point of the circle will be the radius, right? So OP and OQ are equal. Now because OP and OQ are equal, OPQ will become an isosceles triangle. Yes or no? Two of the sides are equal. So the triangle will be an isosceles triangle. If the two of the sides are equal, their corresponding angles will also be equal. So angle Q, if it is 35 degrees, angle P will also be 35 degrees. Yes or no? Angle P will be 35 degrees. So if you look at this triangle OPQ, it is like this. P and Q, 35 here and 35 here. Need not draw it again, but for the sake of clarity, I'm just redrawing it. What will be angle O? See, sum of all the angles in triangle is 180. So if you try to balance it, 35 and 35 is 70. So remaining angle has to be 110 degrees. So this angle is 110 degrees. Now going by this theorem of chord, we know that a chord, if a chord makes an angle 110 at the center, what will be the angle made by the chord in the other part of the circle? At any point in the circle, it will be half of the angle made at the center. Or go by arc or chord, whichever it is. See, PQ is an arc. The angle made by the arc PQ at the center will be twice the angle made by the arc PQ on any other point of the major arc. On any point on the major arc. So R is like any point on the major arc, right? PQ. This is the smaller arc. Blue line is the smaller arc. Major arc. So angle made by the arc PQ at the center will be twice the angle made by the arc at any point on the major arc. Right? So we can say X will be equal to half of 110 degrees. How much is that? 55. 55 degrees, option 2. Right? Very neat. In fact, you need not even put pen on paper for arriving at the answer to this question. Right? Simple. Look at next one. Now this is from algebra. What does it say? X plus Y plus Z equals to 6. X plus Y plus Z equals to 6. Then the value of X minus Y cube plus Z minus 3 cube is. And all the options have been given in terms of X, Y, and Z. Right? X, Y, and Z. Now, like we've discussed in the topic of algebra and also in that special live session that we had conducted for algebra, most of these questions can be answered by assuming random values for X, Y, and Z which satisfies the given equation. See, the only equation given to us is X plus Y plus Z should be equal to 6. Is there any other condition given? No. So I can assume some values of X, Y, and Z which will make it as 6. Like for example, to start with, we can say 2, 2, and 2. X equals to, Y equals to, Z equals to 2. 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals to 6. Now you may argue that how do you know that each of them are equal? It is not mentioned anywhere. It is not mentioned that all the three values are equal. Yes, it is not mentioned. But is it mentioned that they should not be equal? No, even that is not mentioned. So I can take it that way. You getting it? So let us assume X, Y, and Z, all three are equal to 2. Now substitute these values of X, Y, and Z in the required equation. What is the required equation? X minus 1 cube. See, I'm just writing the equation again. You need not write in the exam. Y minus 2 cube, Z minus 3 cube. Substitute X equals to 2. So 2 minus 1 will be 1 cube. Plus Y equals to 2. 2 minus 2, 0 cube. And Z equals to 2. So 2 minus 3, minus 1 cube. Now 1 cube is 1. Minus 1 cube is minus 1. 1 cube 1 cube is 1. 0 cube is 0. And minus 1 cube is minus 1. So 1 plus 0 minus 1 will be equal to 0. So basically by taking X equal to Y equal to Z equal to 2, the answer comes out to be 0. Answer as in the required value of this equation comes out to be 0. Now substitute the same three values in the answer options and see which one satisfies. Look at the answer options. Now, if you observe, the problem with these answer options is every option has got y minus 2, y minus 2. So if you substitute y equals to 2, 2 minus 2, 0. So this will be equal to 0. If you substitute y equals to 2 in second option, 2 minus 2 is 0. Whatever be the value of the remaining two terms, 2 minus 2, 0. 0 into anything will be 0. Same is in option 3, 2 minus 2, 0. And option 4 has got y as a term. So if you substitute 0, this also will become 0. So basically the problem is when you substitute x equals to y equal to z equal to 2, all the options result in 0. And hence you will not be able to arrive at the correct answer. We will not be able to establish which answer is correct here. So x equal to y equal to z equals to 2 doesn't really help. Now, a smart person would have actually looked at the options first before substituting the values. See, you should always throw a glance and see if there is any condition. Indirectly, there is a condition given here that if I take y equal to 2, it will result in 0. All the options will result in 0. So I should not do that. Similarly, if you take x equals to 1, let's say. Here it will not result in 0 basically. 3 into 2 will give you 6. Okay, I think fourth option can be eliminated. Look at fourth option, 3 into 2 into 2 into 2. So this will be what? This will be a non-zero value, but what it is 0. 3 into 2 into 2 is 24. So option 4 gets eliminated. Sorry, by taking 2 to 2, option 4 gets eliminated. So what we can only say is option 4 cannot be the answer. But which of these first three options is the answer is not known to us. You getting it? 1, 2 or 3, all three are possible. So we should now avoid taking values of y equal to 2. Similarly, we should avoid taking x equals to 1, because if we take x equals to 1, all the 3 will become 0. If we take z equals to 3, all the 3 will become 0. Because 3 minus 3 is 0. Here 3 minus 3 is 0. Here option 3, 3 minus 3 is 0. So take the values accordingly. So let's take x equals to maybe, let's say 2. Let's take y equal to 0. And let's take z equals to 4. See, randomly something so that we get proper values. Now substitute here 2 minus 1, 1 cube. Plus 0 minus 2, minus 2 cube, plus 4 minus 3, 1 cube. So what happens? 1 cube is 1, minus 2 cube is minus 8, and so 1 minus 8 plus 1 will give you minus 6. So basically, the result should be minus 6. When you take x equals to 2, y equals to 0, and z equals to 4. Substitute now option 1. Substitute in option 1. What happens in option 1? Which values are we going to substitute now? 204. Substitute 204 in option 1. What happens? 2 minus 1 will give you 1. 0 minus 2 will give you minus 2. And 4 minus 3 will give you 1. So 3 into 1, 3. 3 into minus 2, minus 6. Minus 6 into 1, minus 6. So this is correct. Option 1 seems to be correct. But we have to verify the remaining options also. See, anyway, we have taken x minus 1, y minus 2, z minus 3. How much is it? 1 into minus 2 into minus 1. Minus 2. So this will be what? Minus 2. This will be what? 2 into minus 2, minus 4. You're able to follow. So option 3 and option 2 also get eliminated now. Correct answer has to be option 1. Are you able to follow? The point is, by substituting x equals to 2, y equals to 0, and z equals to 4 in the first three options, we get the results as minus 6, minus 2, and minus 4 respectively. What do we want? We want minus 6 to be the answer. So option 1 has to be the correct answer. Why have we not substituted in option 4? Because option 4 anyway has got eliminated. Option 4 in the first substitution gave us a wrong result. You can also go by special formulae and identities that we have discussed in algebra. But this random substitution really helps, right? So just check and you'll be able to get it. All right. Next one. One more on algebra, right? What does the question say here? If root over x minus a by x minus b plus a by x equals to root over x minus b by x minus a plus b by x, where b is not equal to a. Now understand, when you substitute random values for b and a here, you must ensure that b and a are not equal, because he has clearly specified that b is not equal to a. Then what will be the value of x is the question. And all the answer options have been given in terms of a and b. Or I would say three options have been given in terms of a and b. So you can actually, if you want, you can directly simplify this to get the required answer. Or substitute a equals to 1, b equals to 2, or a equals to 2, b equals to 9, whatever you want. Substitute the same values of a and b in the answer options also. Whichever matches with the question equation will be taken as the correct answer. Let's do it in a direct way. Let's see what happens. I mean, it's not very lengthy, I guess, right? See, I can take it as x minus a by x minus b minus of x minus b by x minus a equals to b by x minus a by x. Simplify this. What happens? In the denominator, we can take the LCM as root over x minus a into x minus b. Now root x minus a into root x minus a will give you x minus a. Minus of root x minus b into root x minus b will give x minus b. Are you able to follow? We have taken the LCM as root x minus b into root x minus a and then trying to simplify the left hand side. Equals to, here we can take the LCM as x. It will give you what? B minus a. Now simplify. See, plus x and minus x gets cancelled. Minus a minus of minus b becomes minus a plus b. Minus a plus b is nothing but b minus a. Now this b minus a in the numerator on the left hand side and b minus a gets cancelled. So we can say actually numerators both get cancelled. So what do we get finally? Cross multiply. So x into 1 x equals to root over x minus a into x minus b. Now square on both the sides. By squaring on both the sides, what do we get? By squaring on both the sides, we get x square equals to x minus a into x minus b. X minus a into x minus b. Now simplify this and you will get the value of x. So x squared equals to here x square minus of x into a plus b plus ab. So x squared and x squared gets cancelled. We can say x will be equal to ab by a plus b. Option 1, ab by a plus b. Option 1. But like I said, you can also go by random substitution, right? Same simplification has to be done. Even if you take some values for a and b, a similar simplification has to be done. You will get the value of x in terms of whatever you have taken for a and b, and then verify from the answer options. But just keep in mind, b and a should not be considered equal. It is very clearly specified in the question, right? Next one. Anubhav Sharma says this question will take more than 1 minute. Well, I don't think it will take more than 1 minute. If you go by substitution, it will take about 30-40 seconds maybe. And even conventional method will not take more than 40 seconds. It is because I was explaining it to you, it took a little longer. When you do it yourself, you can cut down a lot of steps there. Right? So, I will not agree with you, Anubhav. It will take less than a minute. And you cannot skip it. If you are trying to say that I'll skip it because it takes more than a minute, I would say we are not well prepared. Next one, look at this. Looks to be a long one. And from geometry, circle. P and Q are the middle points of two chords which are not diameters, AB and AC respectively of circle with center at a point O. The lines OP and OQ are produced to meet the circle respectively at the points R and S. T is any point of the major arc between the points R and S of the circle. If angle BAC is 32 degrees, what is angle RTS? Options are 74, 106, 64 and 32. So drawing the figure here will take a little bit of time and then you can solve it. So I'll give you 1 minute, keeping in mind the time that it would take to draw the diagram there. Ashish Kushwaha says substitution method is best for me. Yes, even I would always go for I always go for substitution method, right? It all depends. See, if you are really quick in verifying using random values, you would love it. You would say this is the easiest way to solve such questions. Otherwise, you may not like. So Bhagya Lucky has got a query. How did we choose to do conventional method or in the last one? See, you can do the same. I actually chose conventional method because even if I go by substitution, similar steps have to be followed. You getting it? Even if I go by substitution for A and B, similar simplification has to be done. So I thought better do it in a conventional way so that you can follow the traditional substitution method yourself. Now that you know how to simplify that, you can substitute values for A and B and check it. Jitendra has got option 1. Kundan also has got option 1, 74 degrees. Anubhav says, how many seconds should we take to solve that average question which you solved today? Average question, which one? Okay, I think question number 3. Average age of A, B and C is 84. I think maximum of 45 seconds. I mean, it depends on how many steps you write on paper. If you say a plus b plus c by 3 equals to 84, and then which implies a plus b plus c equals to 84 into 3, then you do 84 into 3 on paper and do all those steps, you will only waste your precious time. You should know that a plus b plus c is 84 into 3, 252. A plus b plus c plus d is 320. So d is 68. Then e will be 74. Just keep doing it. So it all depends on the number of steps that you put on paper. Anubhav says I took 1 minute and 5 seconds, which means you'll have to work on your concepts of averages. I mean, concept is clear, I understand. The fact that you've got the right answer shows that the concept is clear, but you'll have to work on your speed. 1 minute and 5 seconds is too much, I would say. You cannot be taking 65 seconds for such questions. Baby Kumari has also got 74 degrees. Okay. Anybody else there? Jay Shankar says if the picturizing is done, means 1/3 is done. I would say half is done. I would partially agree with what Jay Shankar says. He says picturizing, I mean, he's trying to say that picturizing the figure is important. Yeah. But if you can do that and then quickly put it on paper, half of the problem is done, or more than half is done. But you have not got the right answer. You're saying 72 degrees, which is not even there in the options. Naveen Jha has also got 74, and I think Sangeeta Kumari also has got option 174. All right, so let's look at the solution now. So you'll have to remember all the important theorems and points related to geometry, and apply those right theorems at the right places to keep it easy. Getting it? Yeah, I think many of you have got 74 now, so we can start working on it. So the question here says P and Q are the middle points of two chords, and these are not diameters, right? Focus on this. These are not diameters. So two chords AB and AC respectively of a circle with center O at a point, with center at a point O. So basically there is a circle whose center is O. AB and AC are the two, and P and Q are of those two chords. So let me draw the figure for you. This is the circle, let's say. Right, here's the circle. Center is O. Center is O. Now AB and AC are the two chords of this circle, right? So let us draw the two chords, right? AB and AC. Understand there is a common point here. A is a common point between the two chords. So let us assume this is point A. This is point A. And this is chord AB, and here is chord AC. Right? These are the two chords. And what else do we know? P and Q are the middle points of the two chords. P and Q are the middle points of the two chords of this particular figure that we have drawn, right? P and Q are the two middle points. So let us say P is the middle point here. This is point P, and Q is the middle point of the chord AC. You getting it? Simple. So far, nothing complex, right? A, B, A, C are the two chords. P and Q are the middle points. Now, the lines OP and OQ are produced to meet the circle respectively at the points R and S. OP, the line OP, see from the center O, the line OP is extended. It is produced to meet the circle at the point R. And OQ is extended. This line is extended to meet the center at the point S. Meet the circle at the point S. You getting it? OP is extended. OQ is extended. Remember, P and Q were the middle points. P and Q here are the middle points of the chords AB and AC. If you go back and recollect the theorems that we have discussed with respect to circles and chords, you know that a perpendicular which is dropped from center of a circle, to any chord will bisect the chord. You remember that? Let's say this is a circle. You take any chord. This is the chord, let's say. Now from the center, when you drop a perpendicular, it will always bisect the chord. It will divide into two equal halves. This will be perpendicular, 90 degrees. Now we already know that P, the point P, divides AB into two equal halves. How do we know that? Because P is the midpoint. So AP is equal to PB. Similarly, the point Q divides AC into two equal halves. So clearly any line from the center joining this point P and point Q will be nothing but the perpendicular to that chord. See, this is the converse. Instead of saying that a perpendicular from the center of the circle to any chord will bisect the chord, we know that a particular line from the center is bisecting the chord. So that line has to be the perpendicular to the given chord. So I can say this is perpendicular, this is 90 degrees, this angle is 90 degrees. Similarly, angle AQO is also 90 degrees. This will act like a perpendicular. OQ will be a perpendicular to AC. OP will be a perpendicular to AB, will be the perpendicular to AB. Now, let T is any point on the major arc between the points R and S of the circle. T is any point on the major arc between the points R and S. Now, between the points R and S, you know that there will be, see, these 2 points lie on the circle. So there will be a major arc and a minor arc. He says T is any point on the major arc. So T is any point. What is the major arc? This is the major arc. RBCS is the major arc. Right? RAS is the minor arc. So T is any point on the major arc. Let's say point T is here. This is the point T. Then point T. If angle BAC, this angle is given as 32 degrees. This angle is 32 degrees. 32 degrees. Then what is angle RTS? You have to find out the angle RTS. So basically this angle has to be measured. What is this angle is the question here. Now the point which will help us find out the answer here is this. Observe this quadrilateral APQO. I'll draw this APOQ, right? Look at this quadrilateral APOQ. We know that this angle is 90 and this angle here is 90. So which means angle P plus angle Q equals to 180. If angle P plus angle Q is 180, we can conclude that angle A plus angle O should also be 180, because sum of all the angles in a quadrilateral is 360 degrees. So if opposite pair here is 180, then the other pair also should be 180. Now angle A is known to us. Angle A is how much? 32 degrees. Substitute angle A 32. So we can say angle O. Angle O means what? Angle POQ. Angle POQ here. You getting it? We are talking about the quadrilateral APOQ, right? So O here is nothing but angle POQ. Angle POQ can be taken as 180 degrees minus angle A. Angle A is nothing but angle PAQ, 32 degrees, which comes out to be how much? 148 degrees. So this angle is 148, right? 148 degrees. Now what we have to find out? The measure of the angle RTS. Consider RS to be a chord. I am drawing a dotted line here. Let us take it in red so that it is visible. Consider RS to be a chord. RS is like a chord. No, or you can take RS as a arc, minor arc, the RS minor arc. We know that the angle made by a chord at the center is twice the angle made by the chord at any point on the other part of the circle. So you only try to look at this figure now, the figure in red. Angle ROS. We know that angle ROS is equal to what? 140 degrees. See, angle ROS will be nothing but angle POQ, because they are on the same line, right? The point R is on the extended line of OP. Point S is on the extended line of OQ. So angle ROS will be equal to angle will be 140 degrees only, right? Don't argue that angle POQ is 148. So how can you say ROS is 148? It will be same. If angle ROS is 148, can you say angle RTA should be half of 148? Yes. Because RS is like a chord. The angle made by the chord at the center will always be twice the angle made by the chord at any point on the circle there, on the major arc. You getting it? So we can now conclude that angle RTS should be half of angle ROS. So half of 148, which is equal to 74 degrees. So option 1 would be the correct answer. See, do not go by the length of explanation or the time that we have taken here to arrive at the answer. It is because I was trying to explain it to you and draw all these figures clearly. It has taken so much of time, right? If you do it yourself, you'll be able to crack this in what? Maybe some 45 seconds or 1 minute maximum, not more than that. And a major part of that 1 minute will go in drawing the figure, in constructing that figure there, right? So answer is 74 degrees. I hope all of you have followed this. Ajit Kumar says option 2, 106 degrees. Ajit, I hope you have followed the solution here. So you must rectify your mistake. It should be option 174 and not option 2. Next question. Solve the next one. You have about 1 minute for this, and your time starts now. Option 2. Rahul has got option 2. Amit Verma has also got option 2. 3 root 2. I think Joel has got a very interesting question, right? How do we determine the chords are at opposite of the center? Well, I think we need not really try and we should not worry about that. Even if you take it on the same side of the circle, it should result in the same response. See, that's the beauty of mathematics, right? I mean, what do you see in algebra? Algebra, you can always argue that how do you know when x plus y plus z is equal to 8? How can we take x equals to 1, y equals to 4, and z equals to 3? Nothing else is given, so I can always assume that it is 1, 4, and 3, or 1, 3, and 4, or 3, 4, and 1, or any other set of values there, right? So try and see what happens. I mean, try to take it on the same side of the center and see what happens. Are you getting the same answer or not? All right, let's look at the next one now. Now, this is based on tangents and chords. What does the question say? If the length of a chord of a circle, which makes an angle 45 degrees with the tangent drawn at one end point of the chord is 6 centimeter, then the radius of the circle is. So basically, length of the chord is given, right? Length of the chord, he says, is 6 centimeters. And this chord makes an angle of 45 tangent at one end of the chord. Yes or no? A chord will have two end points. So at one of the points, the tangent makes an angle of 45 degrees with this chord. And the length of this chord is 6 centimeters. Based on this, we have to find out the radius of the circle. Do this, what happens? Let's take a circle. This is a circle, let's say center is O. And let's say here is the chord. This is the chord. Let's name it. Let's say the chord is AB. Right? AB is the chord. What is the length of the chord? 6 centimeter. Right? 6 centimeter is the length of the chord. Now he says this chord makes an angle of 45 degrees with a tangent at one of the points, one of the endpoints. So you either take a tangent at the point A or take tangent at the point B. Right? Let's consider a tangent at the point A. Right? Tangent to this circle. So this is the point of tangency, right? Point A. Now this chord makes an angle of 45 degrees with this tangent. This is 45 degrees, he says. So this angle is given as 45 degrees. Okay. And that is it. That is what is given to us. So what do we do? Let's say we have drawn the tangent from this point, right? Point P. Let me just look at this once. This is 45 degrees, right? This angle is given as 45 degrees. This angle here is 45 degrees. Now, what is he saying us? We are supposed to find out the radius of the circle, right? See, radius can be taken as either OA or OB. Construct this triangle OAB. O, A, and B. Right? OAB. So, this is radius. OA or OB can be taken as the radius. R equals to OA equals to OB. See, one of the properties we know is that a line drawn from the center of the circle to the point where the tangent touches the circle will be perpendicular to the tangent. The angle made here will be 90 degrees. Yes or no? You getting it? The angle made here will be 90 degrees. Now, if you observe this angle A, this is a straight angle at this point. The complete angle should be 180 degrees. We already have 45 degrees on this side and 90 on this side. So, what will be this angle? This angle will be 45. You getting it? This angle will be 45 degrees. Are you able to follow? from the circle, from the center of the circle, when you drop a perpendicular, it should be, I mean, when you drop a line to the point of tangency, it will be perpendicular to the tangent. So this angle is 90. We know that this is a straight angle. At any point, angle is a complete angle, right? On a straight line, straight angle, 180 degrees. So out of 180, 90 is on this upper half. Then we have 45 degrees here. So remaining angle, the center part of it should be how much? 180 minus 90 minus 45 degrees. Now remember, in triangle OAB, if you look at triangle OAB, this is A, O, and B. We know that OAB, this is 45 degrees. Yes or no? We also know that OA is equal to OB. Why? Both OA and OB represent the radius of the circle. So basically, this is an isosceles triangle. If this is an isosceles triangle, angle A 45, then angle B should also be 45. Yes or no? OA is equal to OB, so isosceles triangle. So angle A should be equal to angle B, 45 and 45. If angle A and B are 45 and 45 each, what should be angle O in this triangle? It should be 90 degrees, because sum of all the angles is 1, right? We know that AB is equal to 6, OA is equal to R, and OB equals to R. Apply Pythagoras theorem. R squared plus R squared equals to 6 squared. So from this we can say R will be equal to, it will be like 36 by 2, right? Root 18. Root 18 will be 3 root 2. So option 2 would be the answer for this question. Alright? Next one from number theory. Interesting question. The least positive integer, which is a perfect square and also divisible by each of 21, 36 and 66 is. The least positive integer, which is a perfect square, and also divisible by 21, 36 and 66. Now, one simple way of answering such questions is to go by the answer options. All the 4 options have been given with some numbers there. We have to verify the given conditions. What are the conditions? One condition is that the number has to be a perfect square. So check which of these options are perfect squares. Second condition, the answer should be divisible by 21. That the answer should be by 36. And the fourth condition is that the answer should be divisible by 66. So basically 4 conditions are there. You can check satisfies all the 4 conditions. But may take a little longer because the numbers here are like 21, 36, 66. So you have to go by divisibility rules. Yes or no? How do you check whether a number is perfect square or not? Well, it is not very easy. But going by unit space, you know that a perfect square can end in 4. A perfect square can also end in 6. So going by unit space, all 4 of them seem to be the right numbers in terms of unit space of a perfect square. So that won't really help. What should we do now is go by the divisibility rules. So if you look at 21, see you know that 21 has to be factorized. So 21 can be factorized in a number of ways. 1 into 21, 3 into 7, 7 into 3 and all. But here 3 into 7 is the right factorization. See, we have discussed this in the number theory video about the divisibility rules for numbers. We always factorize the number in such a way that the factors have to be co-primes. Now 3 and 7 are co-primes. Don't ask me what co-primes are. You must be knowing what co-primes are, right? What are co-primes? Co-primes are those numbers for which the highest common factor is 1. So for 3 and 7, the highest common factor is 1. So a number is divisible by 21 if and only if it is divisible by 3 and divisible by 7. Now you know the divisibility rule for 3. You also know the divisibility rule for 7. Check which of these options satisfy both the rules. If any option doesn't satisfy any one of these, it can be eliminated. Now 36. 36 again can be factorized in a number of ways. 36 can be taken as, let's say, 1 into 36, 2 into 18, 3 into 12. It can be taken as 4 into 9. It can be taken as 6 into 6 and so on. But which is the right factorization here? 4 into 9 will be the right factorization. Why? We should be choosing those factors which will result in set of co-primes. 1 and 36 anyway ruled out. 2 and 18 are not co-primes because 2 is a common factor for them. 3 and 12 are not co-primes because 3 is a common factor for both 3 and 12. 6 and 6 are not co-primes. 4 and 9, yes. The factors of 4 are 1 and 4 or 1, 4 and 2, and the factors of 9 are 1 and 3. What's the highest common factor? 1. So 4 and 9. So that number will be divisible by 36 if and only if it is divisible by 4 as well as 9. Similarly, you'll have to do for 66. What do you do for 66? Again, factorize. 66 can be taken as 1 into 66, 2 into 33, or it can be taken as 6 into 11, and so on, right? So I think 2 and 33 can be taken as the right factorization. 2 and 33 will give you what? 2 and 33 both are co-primes. But again, you don't have an idea about divisibility rule for 33. So better take it as 6 and 11. 6 and 11 are also co-primes, right? Common factors of 6, factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3 and 6. Factors of 11 are 1 and 11. What is the highest common factor? 1. So basically, you'll have to check the divisibility for 3, divisibility for 7, divisibility for 4, for 9, for 6, and for 11. Again, what is the divisibility rule for 6? A number is divisible by 6 if and only if it is divisible by 2 as well as 3. So overall, if you look at it, how many divisibility rules have to be applied here? 2 has to be applied. Then 3 has to be applied, right? Then we'll also have to take 4, right? Then we have 7, 9, and 11. 7, 9, 11. So 2, 3, 4, and 9 are easy. 11 also is comparatively easy, but 7 would take a little time. We have discussed all these in the video. So check which option satisfies all these divisibility rules. But as you all can see, it would take a little bit of time, right? More than a minute to verify. Maybe you should start with divisibility for 11 because, that way we can eliminate one option at least, sure, right? All the options are divisible by 2, so 2 is anyway ruled out. Are all the options divisible by 4? Yes, 44 here, 16 here, 16 here, 24 here. So 4 is also ruled out. 3 and 9 you have to check by sum of the digits. So better check for 11, 3, 9 and eliminate. But like I said, it would definitely take more than a minute and you may not like it. So let us see the smart way of answering this question. What do we do? See, the number here has to be divisible by 21, 36 and 66. So clearly, the number should be a multiple of these three values, 21, 36 and 66. Yes or no? We are looking for a positive integer which is divisible by 21, 36 and 66. Now there are infinite numbers in the system which are divisible by all three values, 21, 36 and 66. Right? So out of those infinite values, which one has to be chosen? The one which is a perfect square, because the question says that this integer also has to be a perfect square. So first of all, let us focus on a multiple of 21, 36 and 66. Let us look at LCM, the least common multiple of these three values, 21, 36 and 66. Find out, go by the regular procedure, right? What is the LCM of 21, 36 and 66? If you take 2, 21 remains as it is, this is 18 and this is 33. Let us take 3. So this is 7, 6 and 11. Again, if you take 2, it is 7, 3 and 11. And now since 7, 3, 11 all are prime numbers, you can directly take it as 2 into 3 into 2 into 7 into 3 into 11 as the LCM. Yes or no? What will be the LCM? You have to take 7 once, then you have to take 3 and then you have to take 11. So we can say it is 2 into 3 into 2 into 7 into 3 into 11. So basically it is 2 into 2, 2 squared, 3 into 3, 3 squared, into 7 into 11. Now this LCM represents what? LCM shows us a number which is divisible by 21, 36 and 66. So that part is solved. We are looking for a number which is divisible by 21 and 36 and 66. That number can be taken as the LCM of these three values, which is 2 square into 3 square into 7 into 11. But we also have to find out a number which is a perfect square. Is this LCM a perfect square? No. See, 2 square and 3 squared are okay, but 7 and 11 are only taken once here. So it is not a perfect square. How will this become a perfect square? If I multiply this by 7. So 7 into 7 becomes 7 square and also 11. So what happens? This will result in what? 2 squared into 3 squared into 7 squared into 11 squared. So this is a perfect square definitely. Yes or no? 2 squared into 3 squared into 7 squared into 11 squared is a perfect square. It can be taken as 2 into 3 into 7 into 11 whole square. So that perfect square problem is solved. Now you may ask me a question that, is this new number divisible by these three values? Yes, of course. See, when we know that x is divisible by 21, 36 and 66, any multiple of x is also divisible by 21, 36 and 66. It is like this, 24 is divisible by 4. So any multiple of 24 will also be divisible by 24. 24 into 240, divisible by 4. 24 into 10, 240, divisible by 4. 24 into 12, 288, divisible by 4. And we have very clearly discussed this in the video as well, right? Least common, any multiple of least common multiple is a multiple of the given values. So we are just multiplying by 11 divisibility. So your final answer for this question would be 2 squared into 3 squared into 7 squared into 11 squared. Now you can do the calculation there. Final answer would come out to be Option 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 4. You can actually go by unit space first of all. So this is like 4 into 3 squared 9 into 7 squared 49 into 11 squared 121. Go by unit space. 4 into 9 will end in 6. 6 into 9 will end in 4. 4 into 1 will end in 4. So I know that the answer has to end with 4. So option 2 and option 3 get eliminated. Now check. Now do the complete multiplication. You get to know, is it 2, 1, 3, 4, 4, 4 or 8, 1, 1, 8, 6, 6, 2, 4. And like I mentioned, the answer will be option 1. Just do that verification part. All right. So that's about the solution for this question from number theory. Moving on to the next one. One more on heights and distance. From the top of a cliff, 90-meter high, the angles of depression of the top and bottom of a tower are observed to be 30 degrees and 60 degrees respectively. The height of the tower is. You have a minute for this and your time has already started. Option 1, Rahul says it is option 1, 60 meters, and Saket has also got the same answer, 60 meters. Again, about taking the right figure, right? If you draw the figure properly, then more than half of the problem is solved. Got the answers? $60 meters, yes. So let's look at the solution. The question says, from the top of a cliff, 90-meter high, the angles of depression of top and bottom of a tower are degrees and 60 degrees respectively. The height of the tower is. So here we have got two objects. One is a cliff and the other is a tower, right? Now from the top of a cliff, which is 90-meter high, the angles of depression of the top and bottom of the tower are 30 and 60. So clearly you can conclude that cliff would be higher than the tower. So this is the ground, let's say, and here is the cliff. This is the cliff, and let's say this is the tower. How do we know the tower is shorter than the cliff, or how can we say that the cliff is higher than the tower? Because both the top and the bottom of the tower are observed to be at a depression. Yes or no? He has not mentioned that one is an angle of elevation and the other is angle of depression. He says the angles of depression for top and bottom. So top also is giving us an angle of depression. So clearly the top of the tower is, at a lesser height when compared to the top of the cliff. So this is how it goes. If you consider a straight line here, horizontal line, right? This angle here would be 30 degrees, right? Angle of depression of the top of the tower. This is the top of the tower. And angle of depression of the bottom of the tower. This angle. This angle is 60 degrees. This angle is given as 60 degrees. Getting it? What is the height of the cliff? Now let us also draw a horizontal line here. See, the height of the cliff is 90. This total height is 90 meters. Let us assume the height of the tower to be h. Height of the tower to be h. If you want, we can take this as point Q, right? And let's take this point as point R. Now, if you look at it, CR, which is parallel to TQ, can be taken as h. This can be taken as h. And PR can be taken as 90 minus h. 90 minus h. Yes or no? Because total is 90. If the bottom half is, if the bottom part is h, the top part has to be 90 minus h. So that 90 minus h plus h will become 90. That's it. Now you've got two right angle triangles here. Apply the Pythagoras theorem. Apply the trigonometric ratio of tangent and get the required answers. So see, if you can actually do it this way. You also know that CT will be parallel to RQ. CT will be equal to RQ. You getting it? So if this angle is 60, right? Same goes here also. This is H and this is 90 minus H. Because RQ is parallel to CT, we can say if this part is it, this is 90 minus H. Now let's take this point as M. You know, in triangle PNQ, this is the distance between the cliff and the tower, right? So consider triangle PNQ. We can say tan 30 equals to, what is tan 30? Opposite by adjacent, right? Tan 30, which is 1 by root 3, equals to opposite side is 90 minus H divided by adjacent side is MP. MP is nothing but D. Yes or no? MP is equal to CT. MP by D. So we can actually conclude that D is equal to root 3 into 90 minus H. Now consider the other triangle, the triangle PMT. In this triangle, what do we get? Tan, which is equal to root 3, right? Tan 60 is root 3 here. Opposite side. What is the opposite side? Opposite side is MT. Yes or no? M to T, which is H plus 90 minus H. H plus 90 minus H. Basically 90 divided by adjacent side is D again. So H and H gets cancelled here. We can conclude that D equals to 90 by root 3, which comes out to be 30 root 3. Yes or no? Now substitute 30 root 3, D equals to 30 root 3 in the above equation. In this equation, you'll be able to find out H. Right? I don't have enough space to work here. I'll do it here at the bottom. Look at this. Just solve the two equations. What are we looking at? The height of the tower, H. So there are two equations in two unknown values, D and H. You have to solve for H there. So substitute D equals to 90. Right? So what do we get? Let's say this is equation. I mean, for the sake of your understanding, I'm giving this number in here. So from 1 and 2, what do we get? See, D can be taken as 30 root 3. So 30 root 3 equals to root 3 into 90 minus H. So root 3 and root 3 gets cancelled. 30 equals to 90 minus H, which implies H will be equal to 90 minus 30, 60 meters. 60 meters, option 1 is the correct answer. Alright. So that's about this question from heights and distance. Okay, looks like Kundan has got a query because I see Sai responding to him saying angle of depression X. Let me just look at what Kundan had actually posted. Kundan says both are angles of depression. That is by Rupa. Okay, Kundan says, how can you think about the figure? Very confusing. Maybe when you do some initial examples, but now that we have solved it, you should know how to construct these figures. See, for such questions, there are also shortcut formulae. In fact, for most of the questions from heights and distance, we can have a shortcut formula, substitute those values and arrive at an answer. Like for example, in the previous one, instead of taking, height as, instead of taking 90 as the height of the cliff, we can take the height of the cliff as C and substitute in place of the actual numbers and derive a shortcut formula. That can always be done, but will be helpful only if you remember and use the formula in the exam. If you don't remember, then it's of no use. So I would suggest not to run after too many shortcut formulae. If you're thorough with the concept, arriving at the answer will be a lot easier. Now this is the next one. A certain number when divided by 899 leaves the remainder 65. Right? A certain number when divided by 899 leaves the remainder 65. When the same number is divided by 31, the remainder is. Right? When the same number is divided by 31, the remainder is. Now, this is a very popular question type from number systems. Number theory. What does it say? A certain number, let's assume the number is n. Now, this number, when it is divided by 899, what is the remainder? The remainder is 65. The same number being divided by 31. Now, when n is divided by 31, what will be the remainder is the question. What will be the remainder is the question. Now, a shortcut way of answering such questions is just divide 65 by 31. Divide 65 by 31, whatever is the remainder, that would be the answer. Right? 65 divided by 31. What happens? See, 62 is divisible by 31. What is the remaining? 3. In 65, 62 is divisible, remainder is 3. So answer would be option. Remember, this technique is applicable if and only if this divisors are, related to each other. Like 31, actually here is a factor of 899. 31 is a factor of 899. 31 can be, or 899 can be taken as 31 into 29. Right? So only then it is applicable, otherwise not. And in such cases, usually that condition will hold true, right? So don't have to really worry about that. So answer is 3 here, right? What do we do? 65 you divide by 31. So remainder will come out to be 3, and that's your answer, right? Option 1. But the regular method goes as follows. See, I can take the number n to be, let's say 899 into d plus 65. You're dividing the number by 899. So let's say the result is d, the quotient is d, and the remainder is 65. So you know that any number n or the dividend n can be taken as, the divisor multiplied by the quotient in plus the remainder. You're getting it? So 899 into d, 899 into d plus 65. Yes or no? 65 is the remainder there. Now the same number n has to be divided by 31. So divide n by 31. N divided by 31 will be equal to 899d plus 65 divided by 31. Now, like I said, 8 can be expressed of 31. How do we do that? 899 can be taken as 31 into 29. I mean, you'll have to factorize and see which multiple it is, right? 31 into 29 will give you 899. So 31 into 29d plus 65 can be taken as 31 into 2 plus 3. Yes or no? 65 is 31 into 2 plus 3. I'm giving you the traditional method of solving this, right? 31 into 2, 62 plus 3. This is 65. This is now being divided by 31. Now in the numerator, if you take 31 common, what do we get? 29d plus 2. And extra part is 3. This is being divided by 31. Now if you observe the first part of it, 31 multiplied by 29d plus 2. This is anyway divisible by 31. What is not divisible? 3. So that 3 will become the remainder. Yes or no? This is additional. This 3 is extra, which cannot be divided by 31. So that 3 is the remainder here. Option 1. How can we divide by 31, sir? I think got this query. I hope you have followed the traditional method. The traditional method explains it all, right? The number n can be taken as 899 multiplied by some value d plus the remainder 65. Now this 899d plus 65 is being expressed. So we can say 899d plus 65 is the number. Now this 899d plus 65 has to be expressed as a multiple of 31. So that part has been taken care of, right? 31 into 29d is 899d. 65 has been taken as 31 into 2 plus 3. Now you take 31 common, we get 29d plus 2. So definitely this 31 into 29d plus 2 is divisible by 31. What is not divisible is that remaining 3 here, which becomes the remainder. Yes or no? So answer should be 3. All right. Next question. Choose the correct relation from the following. Choose the correct relation from the following. Now that's an interesting one, right? Answer options have been given to us. We have to find out which of these options show a correct relation. So look at this now. Option 1, root 6 plus root 2 equals to root 5 plus root 3. Now if you know a little about numbers, you would know that option 1 will not be a correct relation. It is not possible at all because root 6 is an irrational number. It will go up to infinity. Root 2 is also an irrational number, right? It will extend up to infinity. Root 5 and root 3 are also irrational numbers. So sum of two irrational numbers will never be equal to sum of two irrational numbers because you don't know where the number ends, right? It goes on up to infinity. So this is definitely a wrong relationship. Anyway, if you have to prove it, just do the following, right? Option 1. It says root 6 plus root 2 equals to root 5 root 3. Square it on both the sides, right? So no problem, right? We can square it on both the sides. The relationship will still hold true. It will be equal to only in between, right? So square it, what do we get? Root 6 square 6 plus root 2 square 2 plus 2 into root 6 into root 2. 2 root 12 equals to, here it will be 5 plus 3 plus 2 into root 5 into root 3 will be root 15. A square plus b square plus 2ab, right? So 6 plus 2, this implies 8 plus 2 root 12 equals to 5 plus 3, 8 plus 2 root 15. Is this equal? No. 8 and 8 gets cancelled. This 2 root 12 is equal to 2 root 15. Maybe 2 and 2 also we can cancel. Is root 12 equal to root 15? No. So first option is wrong. Yes or no? Let us look at second option. Take second option. What happens in second option? Again, the same part, basically squaring. So you can continue from here, right? So what happens? We get in second option 2 root 12 is less than 2 root 50. Yes, 2 and 2 gets cancelled. You know that root 12 will be less than root 15, no doubt. We don't know what the values of root 12 and root 15 are, but definitely root 12 is going to be less than root 15. So option 2 is correct. In option 3, he is indirectly given that root 12 is greater than root 15. Is it possible? No, even this is wrong. So option 3 also, if at all you want to verify, or if that option 3 is given before option 2, right? So the correct answer is root 6 plus root 2 is less than root 5 plus root 3. So the idea here is square on both the sides and try to get it in a simplified form. In form, it is not root 6 plus root 2, root 5 plus root 3. Comparing is very, very difficult, or I would say impossible, right? So you simplify it, get it in a simple surd, and then compare. It becomes very easy. So answer will be option 2, root 6 plus root 2 less than root 5 plus root 3. Next question. This is from simple and compound interest. The question says, in certain years, a sum of money is doubled itself at 1/4% simple interest per annum. Then the required time will be. So basically, the rate of interest is given 1/4, 6.25% per annum. He's asking us to find out the time t. T is equal to what? Such that the sum of money. What do you mean by sum of money? The principal. Principal is doubled. T becomes 2p. T becomes 2p. See, if you go by the concept that we have discussed for simple and compound interest in the video, you very well understand that for p to become 2p, the simple interest should be 100%. See, something getting doubled means what? It has increased by 100%. Yes or no? So the interest, we can actually conclude that simple interest is equal to p. P is nothing but 100% of the principal, right? 100%. So 100% will be what? 6.25% into what will give you 100%? 6.25 into 16 is 100%. 6 into 16 is 96. 0.25 into 16 is 4. 96 plus 4 is 100. So rate of interest R multiplied with the time period T. So 16 years option 1 will be the answer. Very simple. I mean, you need not even put any of these steps on paper there. You can do this calculation mentally, right? Basically 6.25 should be multiplied with what to get the required answer. If you do not want to go by this concept of percentages, you can apply the formula. We know that amount is equal to P plus PTR by 100. Substitute the values. So amount is nothing but 2P here. 2P equals to P plus PTR by 100. So P anyway gets cancelled. So we will get 2 equals to 1 plus TR by 100. So from this we'll get T into R equals to 100. That's what we have got it here. T into R equals to 100. That's what we are trying to balance here, right? Indirectly. So T into R equals to 100. R is given. Find out T. The answer comes out to be option 1. Ashish Kushwaha seems to be following a shortcut. He says it should be n minus 1 by R into 100. N minus 1 by R into 100. Well, if you know such shortcut formula, you can apply. But I would say, I would recommend not to go by too many shortcut formulae. You're getting it? Don't try to. I mean, I'm not discouraging you, but if you can remember and recollect these formulae in time in the exam, well and good. But what we have observed is most of the students come out of the examination hall and say, I couldn't recollect the right shortcut formula. And those who depend only on the shortcut formula will have no idea about what the actual method is. Nothing against what Ashish Kushwaha has done, but what I'm trying to tell you here is you should know the traditional method. Irrespective of the shortcut formula or not, you should know the traditional method, the regular method of solving the question. Next one, the value of 1 by root 7 minus root 6 minus 1 by root 6 minus root 5 plus 1 by root 5 minus root 2 and so on is. Let's simplify. What do? Rationalize each of the terms. See, these are surds in denominator, right? Let us bring the surds into the numerator, right? We'll rationalize this. So basically what happens, 1 by root 7 minus root 6. Let us multiply both numerator and denominator by root 7 plus root 6. Nothing wrong, right? We are multiplying both numerator and denominator by the same value. So what happens? 1 into root 7 plus root 6 will give you root 7 plus root 6. Look at the denominator. It is in the form of a plus b into a minus b. The result should be a squared minus b squared. So root 7 squared 7 and root 6 squared 6. So a squared minus b squared, 7 minus 6 1. So it will result in root 7 plus root 6. And same applies to all the other terms as well. You can check it yourself, right? 1 by root 6 minus root 5 will be equal to root 6 plus root 5. 1 by root 5 minus 2 will be equal to 5 plus 2, root 5 plus 2. 1 by root 8 minus root 7 will be equal to root 8 plus root 7. And 1 by 3 minus root 8 will be equal to 3 plus root 8. So basically, the equation here will be as follows. It will become root 7 plus root 6. The second term, root 6 minus root 5, when you simplify, it becomes root 6 plus root 5. Third term, root 5 minus 2 in the denominator will become root 5 plus 2 in the numerator. Basically, conjugate surd. The conjugate surd has to be taken, right? For a plus or minus root b, the conjugate surd is a minus or plus root b, right? So that has to be done there. Minus of root 8 plus root 7 and plus 3 plus root 8. Simplify this. So plus root 7 and here minus root 7 gets cancelled, right? Minus of root 7 plus root 6 minus root 6 gets cancelled. Then see minus root 5, minus of root 5 and plus root 5 gets cancelled. Minus root 8 plus root 8 gets cancelled. What are we left with? 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3, 5 will be the final answer. Option 1. Alright? Simple. You can do it yourself. Next question. The sides of a triangle having an area 7776 square centimeter are in the ratio 3:4:5. The perimeter of the triangle is. So basically, we have been given the area of a triangle, right? Area of the triangle is root 7776 square centimeters, and the sides of this triangle are in the ratio 3:4:5. Now, clearly from the ratio of the sides, let's say the sides are A:B:C, right? From the ratio of the sides, we can conclude that it is a scalene triangle because the measure of each of these sides is different, 3, 4, and 5. How do we get the area of a scalene triangle? Area of a scalene triangle can be done with the Heron's formula. Remember that formula? Root over S into S minus A into S minus B into S minus C. I hope you remember this. We have discussed this in mensuration. I mean, it is there in your books, right? What is S here? S is equal to semi-perimeter, A plus B plus C divided by 2. Now try to simplify this using this formula. You will get the answer. S is equal to semi-perimeter, half of the perimeter. The perimeter is A plus B plus C. Half of perimeter is A plus B plus C by 2. Now basically, A is to B is to C equals to 3:4:5 means what? A can be taken as 3x, B will be equal to 4x, and C is equal to 5x. So substitute. So S will come out to be what? 3x plus 4x plus 5x by 2. So 12x by 2 will be equal to 6x. Semi-perimeter is 6x. So the area can be taken as root over S, 6x. 6x minus A, see 6x minus 3x is 3x. 6x minus B minus 4x is 2x. And 6x minus 5x is x equals to the given value, 7776. Simplify for x from this and then find out the perimeter. So if you see 6 into 3, 18, 18 into 2, 36. So we get 36 into x power 4 under root is 7776, which implies 6x squared equals to 7776. Or we can say x squared will be 7776 by 6, which will be 1200 plus 50 plus 40 plus 6, 1296. X squared will be 1296. So x will be equal to what? X will be equal to 36 because 36 squared is 1296. That's it. So you know the value of each of those parts. He's asking us to find out what? The perimeter. See, we got the semi-perimeter as 6x. Implies what will be the perimeter? Perimeter x. So 12 into x is 36. 12 into 36 is how much? 360 plus 72, 432. So the answer here will be 432, option 4. And please cut down the number of steps. You need not write the first step here. A, B, C, 3:4:5, A, 4x, C5. Don't write the formula again. The semi-perimeter and all that, right? This can be done mentally. All you need to do is start from the actual calculation. Root over 6x into 3x into 2x into x equals to 7776. Get the value of x and from that find out the perimeter. 432 will be the answer. Right? Oh, I think Rajkumar, Saubhagya Lucky, everybody says option 1, 412. 412 will not be the answer. 12 into 36, right? 360 plus 72. 360 plus 72 is 432 and not 412. Check your calculation. Check your calculation. Answer has to be option 4, 432. I'm moving on to the next one. I think this is pretty straightforward. It says a ship after sailing towards south from a particular place covered 5 kilometers more towards east. So let's say this is the point P. It covered 12 kilometers towards south. So 12 kilometers towards south. Then covered 5 kilometers towards east. So this is south and then this is east. 5 kilometers towards east. This is 12 kilometers and this is 5 kilometers. Then the straightaway distance of the ship from that place is. So we started from this place, right? Now the current position of ship is S. Let's say this is the current position S. So what is the straightaway distance of the ship from P, point P? You know that this will be a right angle triangle because from south you have moved towards east, right? A right turn, a complete right turn, 90 degrees turn. So right angle triangle, this will be hypotenuse. So PS will be what? Root over 12 squared plus 5 squared. And you need not even write this. You know that 12 and 5 will result in what? 13 in a Pythagoras triplet. So 13 kilometers will be the answer. The straight distance will be 13 kilometers. I think this is a no-brainer, right? Look at this one. Two friends started for a place, one by motorcycle and the speed cycle is 30 kilometers per hour and that of the train is 24 kilometers per hour. The first one takes 6 hours and 12 minutes to reach the destination. Find the time of reaching of the second one. Now this again is a sitter, I would say, right? It says two friends started for a place. One started by motorcycle, the other started by train. And they are going to the same destination, right? The destination is same. So clearly, distance of the first one is equal to distance of the second one. Distance is equal. Distance is equal means what? S1 into T1 equals to S2 into T2. Substitute the values and simplify. S1 speed of the motorcycle ride is 30. Time taken. See, time taken by the first one. First one takes 6 hours and 12 minutes. The only point is you have to convert the time into the right format. 6 hours and 12 minutes will be equal to how many hours? 6.2 hours. Remember, 12 minutes don't take 6.12 hours. This is a crime. If you say 6 hours and 12 minutes is 6.12 hours, you are a criminal. It is not 6.12 hours. It is 6.2 hours. 12 minutes is 0.2 of an hour. You getting it? 0.2 multiplied by 1 hour, right? 6 minutes is 1/10 of an hour. 12 minutes is 2/10 of an hour, right? 2/10 is 0.2. So substitute 6.2 here. Time is 6.2 hours. Equals to speed of the second body is 24. Time of the second body has to be calculated. Simplify this. So T2, this is 6 into 5, 6 into 4. Now 5 into 6.2 will be 31. So 31 divided by 4. How much is 31 by 4? 28 by 4 is 7. 3 by 4 is 0.75. 7.75 hours. Yeah, I think options are given in terms of hours only. So we can take fourth option as the answer. If at all we have to convert this, what happens? 7.75 hours. 7 hours as it is. 0.75 hours is 45 minutes. So your answer would be 7 hours and 45 minutes. If at all the required answer is in terms of hours and minutes, right? 7 hours and 45 minutes. Next question from mensuration. I think we have solved similar questions in our actual video as well, right? It says a horse is tied to a pole fixed at one corner of a 30 by 30 meter square field of grass by means of a 10-meter long rope. Find the area of that part of the field which the horse can graze. What do? There is a square field. Dimension is what? 30 by 30. 30, 30, 30 and 30. Now horse is tied at one of the corners. Horse is tied here, let's say, with a rope of length 10 meters. The length of the rope is 10 meters. So let's say this is the horse edge. Length is 10 meters. So since this is tied, this point is fixed, the horse will actually be able to cover this much of the area. You're getting it? And this will be like a quarter circle if you observe. It will be like an arc, right? This is 10 out of the total and 30, and this also is 10. So you have to find out that area. So how do you get the required area? required area will be 1/4 of a circle. See, this is like a quarter circle if you observe, where the radius is 10, right? So 1/4 of pi r square. Substitute. So 1/4 into 22/7 into r square. What is r? R is 10. Remember, the radius is 10. Length nothing but the radius, 10 square. I think he has asked us to take pi as 3.14. So substitute 3.14 here. So 1/4 into 3.14 into 10 square. So 4 cancel 25 times here. Then 3.14 into 25. So 75 plus 14 into 25. How much is that? 3.5. So 75 plus 3.5, 78.5 is the answer. Option 1. The solution in red because we are talking about the red shaded area, right? 78.5. Area shaded in red. So 78.5, option 1. All right. I think simple questions compared to what we had solved in the beginning of the paper. Try this one now on profit and loss. A shopkeeper bought a table marked at rupees 200 at 2 successive discount of 10% and 15% respectively. So straight away try to find out the price. See, 200 rupees, discount of 10%. First discount is 10%. So it will result in what? 200 minus 10% is 180. Yes or no? 10% of 200 is 20. So 200 minus 20, 180. 180 is further reduced. He has got another discount. How much? 15%. What is 15% of 180? 27. So this will result in what? 180 minus 27. You're getting it? 10% of 180 is 18. 5% is 9. So 18 plus 9 is 27. So 180 minus 27 comes out to be 153. So we can say the cost price for this person is 153. Now he spent rupees 7 on transport. So plus 7 rupees. He's also spent something on transport, 160. And sold the table for 208. Cost price is 160, selling price is 208. He's asking us to find out the profit percentage. I don't think I need to explain this to you, right? What is the percentage profit? See, profit is how much? 208 minus 160, 48 rupees is the profit upon 160 rupees. Profit is always calculated on cost price, right? So 48 by 160, this is like 3 times and 10 times, right? 30%. 16 into 3 is 48, 16 into 10 is 160. So 3 by 10, 30%. Option 2 would be the answer, right? But please cut down the writing part there, right? Mental calculations. 200 reduced by 10%, 180. 180 reduced by 15%, 153. Plus 7 rupees is 160 and sold for 208. So 48 is the difference, which is the profit on a costing of 160. 48 on 160 is 30%. Next question. Somebody says option 3, 40%. Will it be 40%? 30%. Yeah. I think you have corrected it. Option 2, 30%. Next question. What does it say? A bought a certain quantity of oranges at a total cost of rupees 1200. He sold 1/3 of those oranges at 20% loss. If A earns an overall profit of 10%, at what percent profit did he sell the rest of the oranges? Now this is all about balancing. You have to balance the equation there. See, A bought a certain quantity of oranges. What quantity? We have no idea. At what cost? 1200 rupees. Overall, made by A is how much? 10%. But he sold 1/3 of these oranges at 20% loss. You're getting it? So you can start with some value. I mean, you can say the quantity is 100. Quantity is 100 oranges, let's say. At what price? 1200 rupees. So implies 12 rupees per orange. You're getting it? I mean, just to start with something. He sold 1/3 of these oranges at 20% loss. Now taking 1/3 of 100 may become a little complex, but you can take 1/3 of the price. See, understand, the quantity here is directly proportional to the cost, or the cost here is directly proportional to the quantity. So 1/3 of quantity means what? 1/3 of, you getting it? 1/3 of quantity. A smart person would do this. He will not take 1/3 of 100. He will take 1/3 of quantity, 1/3 of the price. Which means on 400 rupees, he made a loss of what? 20%. So the cost for loss is how much? Loss of 20%. Is 80 rupees. 20% of quantity is how much? 80. So implies selling price is what? 320. You getting it? This is the cost price. 1/3 of quantity is nothing but 1/3 of the cost of 1200, right? So we can say the cost price for this part is 400 rupees. Don't go by per range. I mean, don't actually try to do what we have done by using the quantity, right? You can simply work on the cost. So the cost price is 400. Overall, what is the cost price? 1200. And he has made a profit of how much? 10%, right? Profit of 10%. Which implies what should be the selling price? 1200 plus 10%. 1200 plus 10% of 10% of 1200 is 120. 1320. That's it. This is S1. You're getting it? There are two parts. So selling price of first part is 320. Selling price overall is 1320. We know that S1 plus S2 is equal to S. So what is S2? 1320 minus 320. See, I would actually say this is not needed. I mean, I'm just giving you the traditional way of solving. It comes out to be 1000 rupees. What will be C2? See, this is C1. Let's take C1, C2, S1, S2. So cost of the first part is 400. You're getting it? Let me just rewrite it so that you can understand this clearly. C1 is equal to 400. On that, S1 comes out to be 320. So what should be C2? C1 plus C2 equals to C. So C2 will be how much? C. Complete C is 1200. Total C is 1200. Minus C1. C1 is 400. So 800. Now that's what you have to find out. What percent profit did A sell the rest of the oranges? Rest of the oranges is that second part. So you know that cost price is 800. Selling price is 1000. How much is the profit? 200 rupees is the profit. 200 profit on how much? 800 rupees. You know, costing is 800. So 200 on 800 is how much? 25%. So your answer for this question will be 25%, option 4. But please do not write all these steps, right? Cut it down. Cut down the number of steps there. All mental calculation. 1/3 of 1200 is 400. On that, he has lost 20%. So he has got only 320 rupees. On overall costing of 1200, he has made a profit of 10%. So he has made 1320 rupees total. Out of 1320, if 320 has come from the first part, 1000 has come from the second part. But second part costing is 800. Your selling price is 1000. So how much is the profit? 200 rupees is the profit. 200 rupees profit on 800 is how much? 25%. So see, it may look to be complex and lengthy when I give all these steps, but I am doing it only so that you can understand it clearly. You're getting it? Cut down the number of steps. Keep in mind, do not put pen on paper for writing unnecessary steps there. Right? The same question can also be solved using allegation method, which I would not explain. I want all of you to try it out yourself. We have discussed this in, I think, video or one of the doubts clarification sessions, right? You can also use the allegation method for solving such questions. Just apply that method and see if you're able to crack it yourself. Not now, you can try it out later. If you don't get it, then please post it to me in the next session that we'll have. I'll help you how to do it. Allegation method will also be very easy. Next one. A certain sum is divided among A and B. A gets 40 more than half of the sum. B gets 120 less than 3/8 of the sum. And C gets rupees 200. So what is the total sum? See, let us assume A plus B plus C equals to X, or A plus B plus C equals to S, the total sum S. And the question says it has been divided in such a way that A gets 40 more than half of the sum. A is equal to half of the sum plus 40. B gets 120 less than 3/8 of the sum. B is equal to 3/8 of the sum minus 120. He gets 120 less than 3/8 of the sum. And C gets 200. C gets 200. What is the total sum? What is the total sum? See, we can say that C is equal to S minus A minus B. Substitute the values. C is how much? 200. 200 equals to S minus A. S by 2 minus 40. Remember? Minus A. So minus half of S minus 40. Minus B. Minus 3 by 8 S. Minus of minus 120 will become plus 120. You have to be careful with the signs there. Right? So just take it to the other side. What do we get? 200 minus 40. Minus 40 when you take it to the other side becomes plus 40. So 200 plus 40. 240. 240 minus 120, 120. So 120 equals to S minus S by 2. S by 2 minus 3S by 8. So how much will this be? See, S by 2 is 50%. 3 by 8 is 37.5%. So 50% minus 37.5, 12.5. 12.5% can be taken as 1/8. So this is actually S by 8. All about solving that. I mean, as simple as that. So S can be taken as 120 into 8. 960. Total sum is 960. What is he asking us to find out? Total sum. Total sum 960. Option 3 will be the answer. He can probably ask us to find out the share of A. So what will be the share of A? Half of 960 plus 40. So 520. Or what is the share of B? 3/8 of 960 minus 120. So do those calculations. You getting it? So simple. Solve the equations properly. I think the last question of the session today. 3/8 of the girls and 4/9 of the boys of a primary school participate in the annual sports. If the number of participating students is 155, out of which 92 are boys, what is the total number of students in the primary school? See, total can be taken as number of boys of girls. Now we know that 4/9 of the boys have participated. 4/9 of the boys. So 4 by 9 times the boys, which is equal to 92. He says total 155 students participated, out of which 92 are boys. So I can say 4/9 of the boys is equal to 92. So what will be the number of boys? 4 goes on times here 23. 23 into 9 is 203. 207, sorry. 230 minus 23, 207. Now, total who have participated is 152. So we can say the number of girls. See, we know 3/8 of the girls participated. 3/8 of the girls participated. 3/8 of the girls will be equal to 155 minus 92. Because out of total participation, 92 was boys. So remaining will be girls. So we can now say 3/8 of the girls is equal to 155 minus 92 is how much? 63. Simplify this 21 times. So the number of girls is 21 into 8, 168. That's it. You know the number of boys and number of girls. Substitute. So total will be what? 207. If you write this in the exam, you are wasting your time. Remember, 207 plus 168. How much will that be? 368 plus 7, 375. Option 4. Now you may ask me, when you ask us not to write the step, why do you write? It is because if I just read it out and do it, maybe some of you will not be able to follow, or at that moment you're busy in some other step and you lose on what I have mentioned here. So that is the reason I put every step. But that doesn't mean you will do all this nonsense in the exam, right? Option 4, 375 is the answer. And with this, we come to the end of this session, right? So I think 25 questions, some of these were no-brainers, right? Simple questions, but some complex. Again, complex doesn't really mean you cannot solve. It is just about getting the right idea at the right time, right? Especially questions from geometry may take a little longer because figure has to be drawn properly. Once the figure has been constructed properly, it becomes easy to solve, right? Like I've always mentioned, half of the problem is done once you've got the right figure there, right? That is the reason you see questions of geometry where figure is already given. It's very easy to crack. It's there. You just have to apply those theorems, right theorem at the right time, and get the answer. All right. Now, I would repeat what I had mentioned in the beginning today, that we are changing the way we want to conduct these sessions. One is that there is a change in the calendar. Please refer to the updated calendar in your dashboard, right? Your next session will be on Wednesday at 4 p.m. So we'll not be having any session tomorrow. We'll meet only again. We'll meet again only day after tomorrow at 4 p.m. with Quantitative Aptitude Part 2, where we'll solve another set of 25 questions from the previous year's papers. But these questions will not be made available in the form of PDF. Instead, a test will be uploaded for the same 25 questions in the morning itself, right? By 11 a.m. latest. You can take that test, solve all those questions yourself, see how many marks have you scored. So the idea is we want you to, put them in that real test environment, right? 25 questions. I would see I'll give only 25 minutes. Why even 30 minutes? In the actual exam, you have less than 25 minutes, right? So we'll give 25 questions and 25 minutes. I think today we had given 30 minutes, but we'll change it. 25 minutes, let's say. So 25 questions, 25 minutes. That will help you understand where you stand in this race for, race of competitive exam, right? How many questions are you able to solve in 25? in a span of 2 hours, we discuss all 25 questions. You don't really get to know. So there, you know, I've solved 17 questions correctly, or I've solved 20 questions correctly, or I've got all the 25 questions correct. And then accordingly, you can participate in the session. If you've got all the answers right, if you have scored 25 and 25, you need not join all the smart methods. If you have any query anywhere, or if you are still looking for a smarter method, then probably you can come and get it clarified. Those who have scored less will know where they have gone wrong, what questions they have gone wrong, right? And they can focus on those type of questions in the session. So it makes it much more easier for you to follow, and your learning will anyway get enhanced, right? So that is what we'll be implementing. In fact, we had implemented today itself, but most of you are not aware about the test part of it, right? So please make sure that you take the test. It will start from 11 a.m. onwards, right? You need not take it at 11 a.m. You can join in the session at 3:30. 3:30 to 4, you take the test. I will not be available. I'll make myself available only at 4 o'clock. 3:30 to 4, you finish the test, and from 4 o'clock onwards, your session starts. All right. So start the test latest by 3:30, right? Not later than that. So that is about it. Keep practicing, because this is simply a game of practice, right? Like I said, your learns mode of preparation should have finished by now. You should now be in the practice mode. So the more you practice, the easier it gets. So keep practicing. I'll see you again on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Take care of yourselves.